Good morning. I want to share with you about joy from a psalm. It is Psalm 4, and it is a psalm of David. I want to key in on verse 7, but to get the full sense, we need to look at verses 6 through 8. There are many who say, "Who will show us some good? Lift up the light of your face upon us, O Lord. You have put more joy in my heart than they have when their grain and new wine abound. In peace I will both lie down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety." The observation this morning is pretty simple and straightforward. You can find joy in a lot of things. I find joy in sports. I find joy in my family. I find joy in a good cup of coffee. I find joy in good conversation. I find joy in reading a theology text or reading a philosophy book or reading a good moving spiritual life book or a good history book. I find joy in a great movie. There's a joy in a great country song. I know you guys find that joyful. But I find joy in a lot of different things. But there's nothing that brings joy like the Lord Himself. There's an everlasting content to that joy. There's an abiding content to that joy. There is a consistent content to that joy. There's a way in which I'm not subject to situations by that joy. And so when I read there in verse 7, "You've put more joy in my heart than they have when their grain and new wine abound," the psalmist is comparing the fruitfulness of harvest, the celebration of feasting, grain and wine, when they're abounding, all the external circumstances of life, all the blessing and benefits that come in that agrarian context. And he's saying, Lord, you, by your presence, you, by who you are, put more joy in my life than anything that this world can afford. And that's why verse 8 is important. On the heels of that, "In peace I will both lie down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety." All to the Lord. So the counsel for you, or the thought for you as you go throughout your day to day, is this: rest in the joy of Jesus. Rest in the joy of your Father. Rest in the joy of the Spirit. Just lean into God. There's nothing wrong with getting joy from other things, as they're gifts of His. But don't love the gifts more than the giver. And don't let the source of your joy be the gift. Let it be the giver. Because He's the one who is always at work for you, in hardship and in health, in sweetness and in suffering, in bounty and in brokenness. He's the one who's at work for you. Find your joy in Him, not the stuff of this world. May the Lord bless you today.